Back to the weekend with me, Dawn Neeson. Thank you for your company on this Saturday afternoon. Are you popping out on the motor anytime soon? Well, this story will interest you. The car finance mis-selling scandal just got even bigger. Fresh evidence suggests lenders may have hidden billions in secret commissions, meaning UK drivers could be owed up to £90 billion. Investigators claim this is one of the worst consumer rip-offs ever. And there's a long list of competition here, isn't there? I'm joined now by Chief Investigator and Director at Sentinel Legal, Sam Ward. Sam, this story on the surface seems quite complicated. Can you just tell us in baby step what has actually gone on here?
Yeah, absolutely. So when the general public go into a car dealership, they expect the car salesperson to be earning their commission from selling you the actual vehicle and not selling you the finance product, which in actual fact, after our investigations, we found that in a number of occasions, especially with big banks such as Lloyds, who own Black Horse, and Santander, who are two of the biggest car finance providers in the market at the moment, they've actually been allowing dealerships to sell cars at sometimes a loss in order to benefit from the huge inflated commissions that came from selling the finance itself.
That doesn't sound fair at all in any way, shape or form. So, I mean, how many people have been affected by this?
Well, the FCA came out last year and said of the 31.7 million finance agreements that they're aware of that could be affected from 2007 to 2021, 99% of them are affected. Wow. So chances are if you've paid monthly for a vehicle since 2007, there's probably a very good chance you're owed some form of compensation.
Obviously, and the next question here is, what can you do about it? If you're sitting here listening or watching to this now and thinking, oh, well, hold on a minute, that could be me. I mean, how do you check and what do you do?
Well, consumers are in a strong place at the minute, Dawn. The Court of Appeal came out in October, 25th of October last year, and unanimously decided with consumers, with the great British public, and said that you have been done wrong and the banks need to start making provisions to ultimately pay some form of compensation. Now, as you can imagine, the banks didn't like that and they've escalated that to the Supreme Court. That gets heard 1st, 2nd and 3rd of April this year, and we're hoping the Supreme Court hands down that judgment before summer to give everyone who could be affected some clear advice on what they need to do and ultimately how much they could be owed in compensation.
And what sort of figures are we looking at for an individual person here?
Well, from an individual person, it's really hard to say because it goes off the basis of how much your car value was, how many cars you've had. You know, we're seeing at Sentinel Legal that the average consumer's got about 2 to 2.5 car finance agreements that they can claim on. But I'll give you a really bad example, Dawn. We've got one client who had a brand new Land Rover, went into his local Land Rover dealership. The finance that particular gentleman took out was £81,000. So it's probably at the higher end of what most people would see, but still a very common car in some places of the country. Of that £81,000, £16,049 was paid as commissioned on. And just to really break that down for you, of the entire commission, about 19% of the overall finance was paid as a commission, but of the interest that particular gentleman paid on his agreement, 61% of the interest paid was paid as a commission. So it really, really is a scandal, to quote it.
That's astonishing. You don't hear much about it, but basically we're telling people now, but you've got to wait to see what happens with this judgment and then maybe approach, you know, someone like yourselves to get advice.
Well, you don't have to wait at the minute, Dawn. You can still make a claim, or you can still get your complaint going. You can, use someone like Sentinel Legal, or you can write to your lender yourself.
Right.
You can just send a complaint to the complaints email on their website. But in April, the Supreme Court will have 3 days to make their mind up. They will hear from the claimants that have already won in the Court of Appeal. They will hear from the banks, and then hopefully sometime before the summer recess of the Supreme Court, they will hand down that decision and let people know what they can exactly do about it.
It's incredible it's been going on for so long. And just reassure us, it's not still going on in any way, shape or form, is it, Sam?
Well, the FCA came out in 2021, in March 2021, and they banned what is called a discretionary commission element. And what that basically did, Dawn, was the banks, so say Santander, they would lend their car finance at 9%. They would allow the dealer to push it up to 10, 12, upwards of 15%, and they would be able to keep a percentage of that difference. Sometimes they were allowed to keep 100% of the difference. So that was banned by the FCA. Now, the Court of Appeal have actually made the non-disclosure of commissions illegal and said it was unfair. And to quote them, they actually said it was acting with greed and in their self-interest. So you've got this fixed commission element now, which is what we're talking about. And that's where you're seeing the very, very big commissions. And that's what the Supreme Court will be deciding on.
Wow, OK. Sam, so, advice for anyone now thinking about going out and buying a car on, using a finance system, what's the advice you would give them?
Well, since the Court of Appeal decision, lenders now by law have to disclose. They have to have what's called informed consent, Dawn. And that means that if you are sitting down buying a car, the car dealership has to tell you how much commission they're earning, who the commission is coming from, and how they've calculated that commission. And they have to give you that, and you have to sign for that and say that you've had it before you take out any finance. So, and that, the shocking part about this is, Dawn, that this has been going on since 2007. Yeah. Post the Court of Appeal, it took lenders 5 days to completely rewrite all of their documents. So if they could do it in 5 days, why did they not do it for all of these years? And my personal opinion, Dawn, is that they wanted it to happen because this was part of their business model, and this is how they made money, by ripping off the great British public.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot of that around, isn't there? That's Sam Ward, Chief Investigator and Director at Sentinel Legal. Thank you very much, Sam. And if you want more information on that, please do go to our GB News website, where we'll put the details of what you can do and how not to get caught out. OK, now, if you want some good news, we all do, don't we? And you're heading off somewhere lovely, maybe some winter sun.